From Congress.gov, House Resolution 127, the Sabika Shaikh Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. It's been introduced to the House, and here we go. House Resolution 127, a bill to provide for the licensing of firearm and ammunition registration. Firearm and ammunition possession and the registration of firearms, and to prohibit the possession of certain ammunition. This act may be cited as the Sabika Shaikh Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. So let's see, in general, licensing of firearm and ammunition possession, registration of firearms. The Attorney General shall establish a system of licensing possession of firearms or ammunition in the United States, registration with the Bureau of each firearm presented in the United States. The owner of a firearm shall transmit to the Bureau make, model, serial number, firearm, identity of the owner and firearm, blah, blah, blah. Notice specifying the identity of any person whom and any period of which the firearm will be loaned. You have 3 months if this thing is passed to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then the Attorney General shall make contents of the database accessible to all members of the public, all federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities, all branches of the United States Armed Forces, and all state and local governments defined by the Bureau. So your gun ownership information will be everywhere for everybody to see. So the license system requirements, general license except as otherwise provided in the subsection. The Attorney General shall issue a license to an individual to possess a firearm and ammunition if the individual is 21 years old after applying for a license and undergoes a criminal background check conducted by the National Instant Criminal Background Check System established, blah, blah, blah. Then it would be undergoes a psychological evaluation conducted in accordance with paragraph 2, and the evaluation does not indicate that the individual is psychologically unsuited to possess a firearm, and successfully completes a training course certified by the Attorney General in the use of safety and storage of firearms with at least 24 hours in practice here. Then you have to tell them where your gun's going to be stored. Same thing for the military. Okay, so looking at the psychological evaluation rules. The evaluation is conducted in compliance with such standards that shall be established by the Attorney General. The evaluation is conducted by a licensed psychologist approved by the Attorney General. As deemed necessary, the licensed psychologist involved evaluation included in a psychological evaluation of other members of the household which the individual resides. As part of the psychological evaluation, the licensed psychologist interviewed any spouse of the individual, any former spouse of the individual, and at least 2 other persons who are a member of the family or an associate of the individual to further determine the state of mental, emotional, and relational stability of the individual in relation to firearms. Whoa. So understand this, to legally possess a firearm or ammunition, they will possibly interview your ex-wife, your ex-spouse, or your current spouse, or 2 other people that live with you or whatever. I think that's pretty crazy. Or other family members. Your ex, I could see how that could go real wrong real fast. Anyway, so you shall be denied a license for gun and ammunition if you've ever been hospitalized with mental illness, disturbance, diagnosis, including depression, homicidal ideation, suicidal ideation, attempted suicide, or if you have problem with controlled substance on the account of conduct that endangers yourself or others. You can be denied for a license if a psychological evaluation indicates that you have a chronic mental illness or disturbance or brain disease, or you're addicted to a controlled substance. If you've ever attempted suicide, prior psychological treatment evaluation of an individual indicated that an individual engaged in conduct that posed a danger to self or others. do this soon. And you have to insure your firearm. Guys, I completely understand how, this looks good on paper, and I understand um, that, gun violence is a thing, and it's, an issue, and bad things happen all the time that involve guns. I get that. Guns kill. They are killing tools. That's what they are. But while all these rules look good on paper and make sense on paper, even, um, the people that will be uh, following these rules and conforming to all of these rules are not the people who are going to go willy-nilly and shoot people up in a movie theater. These are not that group. The people who do that are not going to conform to these rules from the get-go. So these rules is just infringing upon people who would never, do such a thing anyways. And that's my opinion. Anyway, so then it goes on to list what what qualifies as a military grade weapon, which is like everything good basically. And then it goes on to tell you how long you have after this is established. And then it goes into the prohibition section. It shall be unlawful for a person to possess a firearm or ammunition unless the person is carrying a valid license. In the case of a firearm owned by the person, the firearm is registered to the person, or in the case a firearm is owned by another person, the firearm is registered to such other person. Such other person has notified the Attorney General. So you got to notify the Attorney General if you're going to loan your gun out. You're right. Oh, gosh. This is so dumb. It shall be unlawful for a person holding a valid license to transfer a firearm to an individual who's not over 18. Okay, and then here's all the punishments here. This eliminates the established firearm registration system and puts in the new firearm registration system. Let's see. Yeah, so they amend this to add the following: the manufacturer or possession by the United States Department or agency of the United States. So you can, if you're a cop, you can have a gun, whatever. That's nice. Whoa. Establishment. What? For the purpose of maintaining an on-site physical protection. Oh, okay. So you can protect a nuclear training facility or nuclear, whatever. Yeah. So I just right off the bat, I don't love this, and they go on to ban, big magazines, drum magazines. They say you can't have any ammunition over 50 caliber. You can't have more than 10 rounds in your magazine. And yeah, that's infringing that's infringing upon my right to bear arms. I'm pretty sure that's literally infringement. You're infringing, sir or madam, whoever introduced this shit.